Hey everybody, Big John G. As you can see outside, as you can see it, getting some rain today. So I want to show you a few things that I'm dealing with water drainage around this new property. Let me go take you out back. So as we all know, anytime you build a house, man, you're going to have some things that you wish you'd have done differently, or things you probably would have watched a little more closely. So let me show you this back gutter here. So on the back side of the house here, we have two downspouts. We have the one down on the corner, then we have this one here. And if you'll look, I don't know if you can tell it or not in this video, but about here on this window, it actually slants back to this downspout here, which means 3/4 of that water coming off the back of this house, and you can see quite a bit, is all coming to this downspout, which puts it out onto the patio and out onto the grass. So we early on when we first started this, we noticed we were having some slug issues back here because of the irrigation back here and the mulch that we'd put in around all this. And so we had put some sand out to help control those. That's what we used to use in our garden when we'd had slug issues in the garden. Because the slugs were, believe it or not, man, they were destroying the grass, big spots. So when it finally started raining, I was noticing that sand all the way back down in here. So if it's washing that sand down through there, imagine what it's doing to all my fertilizers, my nutrients, eroding the topsoil and everything out away from the roots. And then over here, you can see how all this drains as well, which means, you know, we're going to have the same issue. So I've got some decisions to make. On the back side, sorry about moving so fast, guys. What I'm going to do is, I know a guy. You ever heard that saying, hey, I know a guy? Well, I know a guy. He actually put the gutters on our old house that we sold before we moved here. I'm going to put an oversized gutter on this back and an oversized downspout on this corner, and I'm going to have him to take this off here and actually eliminate this downspout, and everything will be pushed out. And then you can see my black hose down here. Well, I'm going to actually take that hose and put it and stretch it all the way to the back so that whoever does end up buying that lot, I'm not pushing any water over on them. And that's going to get that water back down into this drain down here. And that's what it is. That's actually a tributary back there. There'll never, ever be anything built back there. That's where all the deer come in from that damages our trees and bushes, flowers. So let's go take a look at the front. So out here, I'll show you on the side here, that's the black pipe you see there. That's the condensation lines off of these two units. And it runs out here. I haven't done anything with this. This was all part of that sod that they put in last March when we built the house. I haven't, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a ditch here, and I'm going to line it with rock and sand and put in a drain pipe so that when that condensation comes out of there, this place stays a muddy mess year round. You can see the green and the grass from the algae and stuff. So I'm going to fix that. And also up on top of the house, you see here, they didn't put any guttering here, and this is along the garage area. It's not really that bad. I just, you know, I just don't want all that water dripping. You can see coming in on my door here. I just don't want all that to rot out. And two, if it gets bad enough, these expansion joints, that water starts to get in behind your expansion joints and get underneath your concrete, then it freezes, you know, expansion and contraction. Next thing you know, you've got broken concrete. I think I've got this side here. We have some water come off here. It's not really bad, but I've got this one here. This is okay. I'm not going to worry about this. Here's what really frustrates the crap out of me. This yard, and I've got an umbrella with me. I'm going to try to do this to where right here, this actually slopes that way. And the yard kind of crowns right here, and it crowns that way. So right here where all this new grass is, you see that I've sowed along, water sits here really bad, and I need to try to level that up. That crown really needs to go away. I've taught my brother-in-law is excellent running equipment. Up in West Virginia, worked on the strip jobs for so long. I'm going to wait and see how this turns out next spring and through next summer. I may smoke all this off. And what I'd like to do, if I can get this, what I'd like to do is have him come in and just take all this at a very gradual slope to the road or to the street. And that way, I don't want it to run off real fast, but I do want it to kindly just run off that way. Because here's what we face over here. Man, you would not believe the runoff. See that guard, that splash guard right there? It comes over top of that when it comes off of that peak of my roof right there. There's an extreme amount of water that comes through there. So I'm gonna have Tony to work on that when he comes out, my gutter guy, that's the guy I know, and have him to redo some of this. I'm not happy at all, man, with how the gutters were put on this house. So we have this downspout here, and you can see all this water comes out. You can see where it's running, and see how it pools right here. And there's fungus just, I mean, it just sits here. So I've got to try to figure out a way to get that water out of here. Now, if I level it, I'll say what's going to happen is water's just going to come back here and settle in here on the sidewalk. I really don't want that either. I just want it to drain gradually to the road. And I don't want to dig a big ditch and have a hump there, because I'm thinking about eventually going with a Kentucky bluegrass. We'll wait and see how Pete's, his blue heat turns out. And I may smoke all this off and go with Kentucky blue in the front. You can see it looks pretty good. I was going to try to get those few leaves off the yard and it started raining. I'll try to do that tomorrow if they dry out enough. But you can see my new grass coming in. I put out a 9 ounce per 1,000 Humic 12 application last weekend. Hang on one second. You see my umbrella. I'm trying to keep from getting my phone soaking wet. But I don't know if you can see behind me, but you can see how they do these houses, man. They're getting ready to, they'll be sodding that yard over there in the next 3 or 4 weeks, putting the irrigation in. But it's new construction, man. Anybody that's dealt with new construction knows what I'm talking about. Let me get this umbrella down. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, man, man, what? I'm just not going to go into it. It's not worth it. It gets my blood pressure up. You'd think I've always been taught any job worth doing is worth doing right and the best. But, that's why I had to get out of the new construction side of things when I had my business. It's just they didn't pay enough. They wanted a $6 a foot job and then paying $1.10 for it. I just wasn't going to do it anymore. So I did have some builders that made sure I made money. They paid right, and but anyway, I'm not going to get started in on that. I wanted to give you guys an idea of what I'm dealing with here, with water runoff. It's a huge deal. It really is. I mean, it will erode your soil. It'll cause fungus issues, which we found out last year. A little too late. Well, a whole lot too late. But I have applied this fall. I did notice some yellow, yellowing out on mine, and so we thought we might have a little bit of a fungus problem because it got pretty warm this fall after we'd put our grass out and things had come up, and with all the watering we was having to do. So I did go and put out a fungicide. It seems to have worked really well. And I can't wait for the spring to get my pre and post-emergence out on the soil and really get back at it. But I wanted to get in on that. Hey, real quick, man, I just want to say we found out that I've got a cousin, man, that's just being diagnosed with some issues that aren't real good. And Rick, man, I just want to tell you that I love you, man. I know over the years, you know, as we grow, we all have families. We all get separated out. But as a young kid, I spent a lot of time, you know, at Rick's house. He's a little older than my oldest sister. He's 3 years older than me. Rick's a great guy, funny. Buddy, he's got a granddaughter due in February, or grandbaby. I guess it's a granddaughter. I don't know where I got that from. Probably my sister. But anyway, he has a grandbaby due in February. And, buddy, you're in our thoughts and prayers. Stay strong and just know that your family loves you. And, man, I still don't know what else to say, but God's blessing would be upon you, man. I love you, dude. Anyway, this is Big Johnny G, and I'm out.